Okay, now that we've put in a send of reverb, very rough of course, now we've got to do some EQ. So EQ is all the different frequencies that you feel that here. So whether something's really toppy or very bassy or muffled sounding, you can create that using EQs. So for example, the music, which should be the car, if it's inside a car, obviously if we're outside the car, it's going to sound more muffled like that. So we're going to create that. So again, it's all on the plugins, which is this bit here. You go to the plugins, again, go to multi-channel or mono, it doesn't really matter. It won't let you put one on that you can't on the thing. Go to EQ, and the standard one that you guys will have on all Pro Tools is this one here, this EQ 7 band. You just click on that, and it brings up this, and there's nothing happening yet. These are all your different frequency ranges. These are your really low frequencies, like from 20 to 100 hertz, which is like the low end of what we can hear as humans, really low bass sounds. And up here is the 20 kilohertz. Up here is all the very high pitch. Anything past that is like dog pitch, you know, what dogs hear. We can only hear up to there. So as you can imagine, with a car coming towards you from outside and you're listening to the music inside a car, it always sounds muffled, doesn't it? So that would mean that it's getting rid of these top frequencies. So what you can do is you could just now just grab this blue dot, because this is showing the top frequencies, and each of these blue, green, yellow, they actually correspond to these blue, green, yellow, orange, red frequencies down here. So when you move one of these dots, you can either move it from here like that, just to where you want, bringing it down, and it's showing you here what's going on. You've moved it from 3.56 kilohertz down 9 dB. So what you want is to bring the tops right down, okay? Because you don't want it very trilly. And at the moment from 4 kilohertz. So let's just have a listen to that. What I would do is solo the music, and you can just play around with this. So it still sounds sort of normal, really. Not much really going on. So you can bring it down. See, you can bring it down or bring it up. See, and it gets toppier. Now, to do those kind of effects, I think a better one than using this blue one. So, and see how these all say in? That means that at the moment, all of these little dots can affect the sound. If you just take that out, it means that one won't affect anything anymore. And what you can use, so for example, just for that sort of muffled effect, we can use these general ones here, which are what they call a low pass filter and a high pass filter. So a low pass filter means that when you put this little one in, see that? It cuts out the top frequency. So it's only letting through, as in low passing, any lower frequency than that point. And you can bring that point right in as far as you want, so that no frequencies here get through and only these ones do. And I'll play that so you can hear the sound. You can hear it get really muffled. And it brings the volume down a bit too, and then you can, that's actually EQ and volume. See, even though the volume went, I can bring that. You can see it makes it muffled. So what you want with the car is you want this to start muffled, and as the volume comes up here, you want this to add more and more frequencies in, let it go higher and higher in pitch, let how many frequencies are in, because that's what happens as it goes past. And then maybe peaking when it gets to, you know, where you, so you can do it manually for the moment like this. So like this, if we just do. As it goes back past you. So that, but you think, well, how do I automate that? Because at the moment you have to draw that like I was just moving that with my mouse. So the way you do that is if you go to here where it says auto, you can click on that, and then you can go, well, what? And then it gives you this option of what do you want to automate. Now what we're doing is bringing in this low pass filter, this one here. See if we cut that out. So this is the LPF. So you look over here, because now we've clicked on this auto in the EQ, it brings up here going, what do you want to automate? And then so you can see all these different things, the bypass, the input level, the output level. We want to do the low pass frequency. See, it says LPF, low pass frequency, so low pass frequency. We want that one. So we add that to our automation and we press OK. And then that will mean when we go back to the little freak track where we did the volume and the panning, we will now have the option of changing that frequency as well. Okay, so if we just go back, Apple Plus, we go here, we're on the freak, the music, we're still on the panning thing here. So if we go off the panning thing here, you will now see we've got send, we can automate the level of the send to the reverb if we wanted to, but we could also, here, effects, EQ, low pass frequency. So it's starting there. So again, we think, well, we want it to be at its sort of peak of nothing really affecting it. So we want it to be like here once it's at its peak volume as well, and then back down as it goes past us. So that's where this memory location will come in handy again as well. If we click on car center, it brings us to there. So we know that at this point, we want this EQ to be like that. Okay, so that's a good place to start. See how it moved this, see how this line now, because we're in the low pass frequency automation, see how this line is up here now? Whereas if I move this down, it's down here now. But we haven't automated anything yet, so it's good to just find the center point and go, well, at that point, I want it to be sort of, let's not mean not too full, but almost like that, still inside a car. So we want it to sort of sound a bit like that. And what you should do here is turn this knob here to 12 dB. So it cuts it off more severely, which is what would happen in a car or in a room, a lot more severe. So now that's where it's going to be at its peak there. So if we go, let's expand out a bit, we can see where our marker is. So again, now that's where our peak is. So we need to go in here and write on that peak. So we can't see it there. That peak, we want to write on that one there, little dot saying that that's where it's at the peak. So before that, what this line is doing is it's the frequency that it is actually, so I'm going back to the smart tool now, and this frequency, actually you can see if I do this too, this is another way too, so you don't even have to keep changing to the pencil tool. When you're in this smart tool, another one I just remembered is you press command and you can press the little plus sign and it'll add another one there. So what we're going to do is, what it's saying is that this frequency is up here now at 8.76 kilohertz. That's what this one, this is the one we're working with, this low pass filter, which is represented by this little grey dot here, and everything here is cut off. So at that, remember how we just put at the center point, where is it? Sorry guys, I'm trying to move this out of the way. At the center point, we are at this frequency. So we want it to be lower before that, build up to that at that point, and then go back down again. So I would do, you could either use the pencil tool, this one up here, and then draw another one, like say there, go back to the smart tool clicking, and you can sort of bring that over here and down, from where it starts, so it's going to bring it up. Well, actually, there we go. Again, this one's at the start, so you can bring that one there, and we can now, like we did before, see the hands on that. You can go Option and click, and that'll get rid of. Now that's bringing that frequency, from here. See how it's low here now? It's bringing it all the way up to that point, and then it'll come all the way down again once we do. Now, rather than me draw the next dot with the pencil tool, we'll do the other way, where it's already in this, already in the smart tool here, and I'm just holding down command, and see that little plus sign comes up on my hand thing. Click that down like that, then it's there, and then we can just adjust that where we want. So we want that sort of to be, by the end of the music, so that's going to bring the frequency back down to where we are. But if we now play that automation, the frequency is going from low. So you can hear that. The car's coming closer, and it's a brighter sound. Now it's passing us, and it's getting muffled again. There you go. And so you can see our the volume left a bit quicker, so I'm just going to bring in the EQ a bit quicker coming down. There you go, you can hear that sort of moving around. Save. So now you've automated some of the EQ, and you can do that as many times as you like with different parameters, different frequencies, to do a whole lot of things. You can get very, very complicated. So hearing that in context with everything else, you get this.
Mum and Dad?
Prince Charming? We're not going.
What?
I mean, don't you think they might be a bit shocked to see you like this?
Well, they may be a bit surprised. But they're my parents, Fred. They love me. And don't worry, they're going to love you too.
Yeah, right. Somehow I don't think I'll be welcome at the country club.
So there you go. You can hear how that sort of was panning, the volume, the frequencies were changing, the rain in the background. So you could do a lot more, but that was just using the EQ and a reverb to create some space. Now, what we talked about last week too was the fade, crossfades. You can group them together like we did here. If we do this crowd group again, we want it to fade in, gently, not just sort of start. I've just selected the group, so when I'm on the group, and if when you're in this smart tool, if you go up to the top of your sort of square, you also at the very corner, you get this little sort of triangle. That's for a fade tool. Remember, if you're at the end, you get the bracket. If you're at the other end, you get the bracket. If you're down the bottom, you get the little hand, which is the grabber tool. If you're at the middle, you get the pointer selection tool. If you're at this very end, you get the fade in that corner. And in this top left-hand corner, you get the fade as well. So if we just expand again using T, now if I want all of these to fade in at the same time, rather than going through each one with volume control, you can just put it, now that I've grouped them and I've selected the group, you can just do this and stretch it out as far as you want. And then that will fade those guys in. Sorry, that's just repeating that. So you just go back here. So now we can hear. So there you go. So that's sort of some of the other ways. So we've covered putting some sends in for reverb, panning, basically what a reverb is and what an EQ is. There's a whole lot more things we can do, but we might just leave it at that for now. So I hope that makes it a lot of information to take in. And obviously this needs to be a lot more fine-tuned, but it's just giving you an idea of how this works. So I'll just play the whole lot as we have
Mum
it now.
and Dad?
Prince Charming? We're not going.
What?
I mean, don't you think they might be a bit shocked to see you like this?
Well, they may be a bit surprised. But they're my parents, Fred. They love me. And don't worry, they're going to love you too.
Yeah, right. Somehow I don't think I'll be welcome at the country club.
Please stop it.